Welcome to the Odoo MRP tour for our upcoming update. One of the problems of today's manufacturing industries is they have the need for a lot of applications to manage their companies. Manufacturing is more complicated than most of the other industries. So a typical manufacturer, he probably has 10 different applications to run his business. You could have Microsoft Dynamics for the MRP, some Excel sheet for the quality, QuickBooks for the accounting, Hippo for the maintenance, Arena for the PLM, and so on and so forth. And you can imagine that all of these applications have to synchronize with each other, and they could have hundreds of lines of bill of materials, and you could change it once in the PLM system, but then it's different in the MRP, and then it's different for the quality, and it would really be a nightmare to manage. This diagram shows a typical breakdown of the different apps that you might have. So one of the main problems of manufacturing is that you don't have a common solution for all these things. And the thing is that integration between different platforms is very expensive. Usually if you have two softwares, you have the cost of one software, then the cost of the other software, but then the cost of the integration between them is more than both of the two softwares together. And that's one thing, but the other thing is the cost of the maintenance for this application is even higher. So it's really a big problem for manufacturing because they need these different applications. So they need planning and scheduling in the MRP, they need supply chain, logistics, quality production control, maintenance, assets management, all those things. So it's really quite a lot to manage, and you have a lot of data as well when you do manufacturing. Every bill of material could have several hundreds of lines and so on. So what we propose with Odoo is to solve all these things. But one other thing we will solve also is that we will do it in a modern way. Really a modern way. Everyone says that, but we really do it. Just to give you an idea, today, all MRP software looks like these images here. So it's very old. You don't want to use it based on that already, but it's very complex. There's lots of fields. Some are web-based, and even those that are web-based, like NetSuite, are not very comfortable to use. So we want to change that. We want to make something that's much more attractive and also that works at the $25 per user level in just a few clicks, fully integrates everything together. So that's the challenge. We have two challenges. You need to bring all those applications together in one single solution so that you can deploy them very cheaply and integrate. And the other main challenge is that we want to keep things modern and most importantly, keep it simple. So with Odoo, as usual, it comes with different applications. We've developed a series of applications to manage a manufacturing company. Like we had before, you already have the sales and purchase application, inventory management with barcode, which is multi-purpose. We manage serial numbers, routing across the different locations, things like that. And we had the manufacturing application already, but it's definitely gone a huge overhaul. Now we have new applications that go along with it for manufacturing, such as repairs, after-sale services, quality, product lifecycle management, maintenance, and now you have all these applications in the same system. So now we can cover all of the needs of a modern and complex MRP industry. Every one of these applications has its own beautiful dashboard and everything, and I'll show you that as we get into it. So let's start with the simple flow. I will do a flow where I start from the beginning, so I will start with the manufacturing, where I will do some planning with the master products on schedule. Then I will manufacture the different products. I will do some quality checks with the quality department to find some check on the piece, and this quality check will trigger some quality alerts, and then we'll have some root cost analysis. And based on this root cost analysis, we'll decide to improve the product and do some change to the bill of materials. So at that point, we'll do a PLM on an engineering change order. Then the engineering change order will be approved, so we'll manage the version and push everything into production. Through all this flow, you'll see it will be very simple. It won't require any synchronization because it's completely integrated already out of the box. Let's go and start with the manufacturing department. So we have different ways to plan in Odoo. To automate the scheduling, we have the master production schedule. Sometimes we call that the MPS. We also do minimum stock rules and make to order. And we allow both scheduling and planning. The scheduling is the high-level scheduling based on the customer promise. It will define the expected dates for every operation. And then we have the fine planning, which is where you define the planning for the workers. So every work order would have to be done by a certain date, and you plan for the next 3 days to be sure that they have work. And where you have a Gantt chart, and you reassign the workers on the Gantt chart, so you can do some capacity planning and adjustments and everything. So we'll show you these two things first. Usually, it starts with the planning, where you'd start with customer promise. You define where you have some sales orders or master products on schedule that trigger manufacturing orders by priority. The priorities in Odoo are defined by expected dates on each manufacturing order. And based on that, we'll make some form of work order. And the form work order will be scheduled automatically with work center capacities in operation. And we'll manage this with a Gantt chart. Okay, so let's start. And first, and before I show you that, one thing which is important, that usually you have people that actually do time clocking in the industry, so they sit near the worker initially and measure every operation and put that in the routing so the routing is scheduled efficiently. And of course, when you do that, the workers will inevitably work very slowly to be sure that their expectation will be easy to reach in the future. And of course, to do so initially, it is time consuming, but it's also not efficient if you're constantly improving your bill of material or your routing because you change things every time. So the time you define for every operation at that point might not be up to date anymore. So in other words, we needed something new. Now, of course, we still support the manually set method. You can still manually set the times on the routing, but now we support a system where we compute in real time based on the exact time of every work order that it takes, and it computes a new schedule based on that, and it computes the cost based on that. So you don't have to define yourself the routing. If you change the process and some operations are faster, it will automatically adapt for the next work order. Based on the KPI you define, and so on and so forth, there's still something which is a good thing about that, because you don't need any longer to measure every operation. And everyone knows that when you do that, it's always wrong. You do the sum of small mistakes, and at the end, your scheduling, ends up with a very big mistake. So, how exactly does this routing and computing work concretely? Right over here, if I go right over here to the master data, I have the products, I have the bill of materials and the routings. And if I open a specific routing, which is here, you see there's also over here towards the right, we have the time analysis button, but I'll manage that. I'll show you that after. Every operation, which is here, you can decide if you want to set the duration manually. Okay, this one is just 1 minute like this, or 60 minutes, or if you want to compute based on real time. And I want to compute, in this case, based on real time, based on the last 10 work orders. So it will automatically adapt as your process improves, or as it works better over time. And I will explain how we manage the overall equipment efficiency and all these KPIs with this methodology. In this case, I'm going to base it on the last 10 work orders, and I'm going to set a default duration of 60 minutes. Okay. So, now that I've explained the basics of that, as usual, I'm not going to go into the details, but you still have the bill of materials that explains the list of components to manufacture finished products, the routings, all those things. I'm not going to get into the bill of materials and the routing at this time just because that's a feature that's already pre-existing. But let's get into the plannings, one of the new features. So we support, as I said, make to order and minimum stock rules, but now we also support the master production schedule. So we could go here as an example. For this example, I chose a very simple one with two components, a computer, which is here, and a component, which is a mouse, which is here, okay? Everything shown here you can easily work on and edit like usual in Odoo. It's very fast, as you can see, filter, group by, or if you want to group by per month, for example, or by week, or perhaps you want to filter it by day. We can zoom in like this, or if you only want to show one line per row, you could customize it the way you want. So basically it starts with starting an inventory. We have 340 pieces here. We decrease the forecast of the demand, which is here. We expect 220 sales minus the indirect amount. And the indirect amount is the amount that comes from all the products that use this product. So the 50 products that I have here probably come from the two supply quantities that I have here. So as I have to produce 50 computers, it says that I have an indirect demand of 50. Of course, it's the sum of all the products, but for this example, I just used a very simple one. And you have to add the quantity to supply and produce for the period, and then you get the forecasted inventory, and you will move like this. So you can change the quantities and say I will change the forecasted amount here, 100, and everything adapts automatically and recomputes in real time, so it's incredibly fast. Or you could say, let's see, you could put some constraints. So for instance, for this product, the quantity produced should be in between 0 and 50. So as you can see here, it doesn't produce more than 50. So even though I have the very big demand here, it produces only 50, which means I will have a problem here, those 35 pieces. And that's why it's red, because I will not be able to reach the demand. If you want to force it, you can still click and say, okay, I'll do it manually. I'll force it to 70 for this period. So you can always click and change manually, but normally it's automatically computed. And here you have the security stock that you could say, my forecasted inventory stock should be 15. So it tries to be 15, of course, but it tried to reach that, and it defines everything based on that. So that's the master production schedule. You have some green cells. The green cells are the cells that you should launch. So perhaps you need, let's say, 2 or 3 months to get the mouse because you purchase it in China and you need 10 days to manufacture the computer. So it means that the quantities for the mouse have to be launched 3 months in advance. So you need the forecast of the computer 3 months plus 10 days in advance, and it'll show you 3 months of green cells here to tell you, okay, normally you should have launched this already, otherwise you have a problem. And when you click here, it will launch all the production or the purchase orders for these products. And when you click here, okay, so we can change here or change here. Since I changed it here, I have to apply so that it will compute itself for all components here that use this project. So you have to imagine that for a very big manufacturer, you could say, I mix some products I manage are make to order, other products are managed with minimum stock rules, and others managed with the master products on schedule. So it's very easy, usually. You set the finished product, master products on schedule, and those that have a very long delay, and the rest I put in a minimum stock rule because it's much easier. And then you launch, and it will launch the production. You can also launch one by one using this small icon that you have here. So now the 50 here will be launched. You see that it is gray because it is configured and it goes into production. So you forecast the demand. Based on the forecast of the demand, it will trigger manufacturing orders for you, and then we will schedule these manufacturing orders automatically. And you can launch everything at once, of course. And you can always click to drill down everywhere in the cells, but that's normal. That's what you can always do with Odoo. Okay? So now if I go down to the dashboard, that's my dashboard as a manufacturer. Every box you see here is a work center. So I have 4 work centers here, including 3 that have nothing to do. That's why the button is orange here. It tells me that there are no manufacturing orders launched for these work centers. So I'm going to click on it, plan orders, and I see all the orders that are ready. I can launch in, so usually what you do is that you select everything for the next 3 days, or you do a small filter and you launch. Sometimes you decide to set an order as a big priority before another one, so that you launch this one only and then the rest after. Once a week, you launch everything that you want to launch, and maybe you'll change a little bit of priority before. It will launch everything based on the priorities you define, which are the expected durations, but you could change them or launch them manually one by one, or one and then the rest if you prefer. So I select and I can launch and I can plan these orders. And now you can see everything is green because it's manufacturing order at 3 work orders at every work center, so everyone has something to do, which is a good sign. I still have a problem here, which you can see there is a red bullet. And why? That's because this work center is blocked, because someone has a problem. Probably the machine is broken, and I can click and I can get the details, but I'm going to show you that after. Okay? So you can use the menu, the traditional menu, when you go to the planning. Usually you click on orders to plan. You select all orders and you launch the plan. So it's super easy and just 1 click per day if you want, but it allows you to manage your priorities before doing that. As I did that, all my work orders are scheduled automatically based on the capacities on the holidays, working from Monday to Friday, 9 hours a day, something like that. So I can go to my planning by production, or usually you do it by work center, and you have the planning that is done automatically by work center. Now for this test demo, I have only a few orders here, but you have to imagine that there would be a full schedule here. So you can change everything manually. You can reschedule, or you can relaunch the planner and you will recompute based on the new constraints you define. So it's very easy to manage your planning this way. You can also manage it in a Kanban view, but I will show you that afterwards. Okay, so you can see here that there's a calendar view, Kanban view, so you can manage it graphically if you want. So in just a few clicks, you have your dashboard. You see what you should launch for the day or the week. Based on Latchet view, you plan the different work orders and the system computes everything for you, but you could change it manually if you wanted to change the priorities. Okay? So that is an example of all the master products and scheduled work. And now we start the manufacturing. One of the good things we did for manufacturing is that we have a system now where you can put a tablet on every work center. So I think that's super cool. You'll be able to put a tablet on each work center, and all the operations will be recorded from those tablets. So you can imagine that you have a tablet on a work center like this, right here. And on the tablet, you'll be able to record production, display the worksheet so the worker has the latest version of the worksheet always in front of him. You can do the time tracking, because when you're recording production, you're recording time automatically just with one touch. You can also record quality control steps at the tablet work center, things like that. We have full barcode integration, works with barcodes, and also triggers used like quality alert or machine broken, maintenance requests, things like that. All of that is an option that you can do with the tablets. So you can work as a normal view, or you can work with a tablet view. If you want to launch a tablet interface, you click on the small icon here in the work center, and you'll get the tablet view. You have to imagine that on a tablet, of course, but it's fully compatible. And you have all the work orders that the worker needs to work on. Usually you start with the first one, and he has all the things he has to do. So in front of him, he has the things. He has the worksheet instruction. He sees what he should do. 3 pieces of this, which is ready. All the components are ready, and he can start working on the piece. The manager, they can use the green button here, and they have the same thing except with more information. As you can see, there is some more information, so you can track all the details of what the workers are doing. So you have that on your tablet. So your worker starts, he has a tablet on the work center, and usually what they do, they'd click on Start Working. And the system starts tracking the time, so all the time tracking is done automatically. And from the tablet, you can do all the operations. If you break something, you can scrap a product, or you can trigger maintenance requests. Suppose you notice that the drill has to be changed. You just launch a maintenance request, and the maintenance team will receive an alert, and the drill will have to be changed. Or you could launch a quality alert. You notice something is not good in a product, you launch the quality alert, and it will go to the quality team, and they will perform the fix as necessary. And as you can see, it's very comfortable for the worker because he has the worksheet directly in front of him. In the future version, you'll even be able to click on the worksheet to say, okay, I did this operation, or register a quality control at this time. But for now, the worksheet is static. So as a worker, I can pause the work and go to lunch, and then I can come back, unpause, and let's say I record my production. That was a very easy setup. There's no lots and serial number tracking, no quality check and everything in this particular example, but I will show you more advanced stuff later. Okay, so for the manager, he gives the details. So he did 3 seconds, then he went to lunch, then you have 55 seconds here, and then you have the duration of 59 seconds for this operation instead of 60 minutes, which is good. Okay. So you put tablets everywhere. From the tablet, you'll be able to record any type of operation. Maybe we should check another one. Okay. So let's say I broke something. I have to scrap a product. I just pick scrap, select my product, and that's it. I scrapped something that is not in stock. Okay, but you get my point. Or you could say, okay, my drill has a problem, so we trigger maintenance requests from here. Okay, green to change, that's it. Now I have to put that in there, maintenance. Okay, I come back to my production and I trigger it in maintenance requests, which is visible here for my team. So all the information flows automatically. You'll see after that, when I open a work order, I will even have some message here. So if, for instance, the bill of material changes or the worksheet is changed, I will have a message that says, take care of it. It changed because of ... So the worker has everything in front of him, depending on what happened in the company, okay? So as a summary, you put tablets on every work center, and from the tablet, you can record the production. You do the time tracking, launch some quality control. Now, I didn't show quality control yet, but we'll do that after. You can manage everything with barcodes, track serial numbers, track operations, track anything you want, or you can trigger issues too. Now, let's say the machine has a problem here. I can also click on block, and then I have to select the reason why. Material availability, equipment failure, setup and adjustments, or of course you can create your own reasons. So let's say it's an equipment failure. Right, does not work anymore. And now everything is blocked, and that's not good for my KPI. And on the dashboard, you see here that there's a red button to say, oh, we have a problem here. You can click and reactivate it if you want. As you can see, the overall equipment deficiency decreases a lot because of the problem, but I will explain that to you afterwards. So you do the master production schedule, or minimum stock rules, or make to order, maybe planning new manufacturing orders. Then you schedule that. You have Gantt charts you can play manually. You can relaunch priorities. And then you can record production on the tablets on every work center. And from there, you can trigger a different thing. Like, let's say we'll trigger a quality alert. So let's get one here, and I'm going to go ahead and trigger a quality alert on this one. So I do a quality alert, and I say, okay, on this problem, I have, let's see, size of bolt is not good. So you have to explain your quality problem, and that's it. So now it's in the tasks for the quality team. So later on, the quality team, so I change, and I'm going to change my hat. So now I'm working in quality, and I go to the quality application. Okay? So you might have different quality teams, or you can organize it into different groups, but here I have only one. So here you see that we have one alert, and we can go to our Kanban of quality alerts. So that's the usual Kanban view of Odoo, where you can manage your different tasks like that, or you can organize your own workflow. So let's say I have a root cause analysis that should appear right before action proposed like this, so you can create your own workflow, and you manage quality alerts on your own workflow. And for this one, this is really important, so I'm going to put 3 stars, and you can work on that. All that communication is fully integrated, so you can discuss on the quality alert what happens when you did that. And all followers will receive, and of course they can reply, so all communication inside the company is organized in Odoo. You could manage it from here, or if you're used to Slack, you have the same thing in our Discuss application, which is a clone of Slack. Here where you can create a channel for your quality alerts, and all your quality alert messages are consolidated into the channel automatically. Okay? But of course that's a generic feature of Odoo. If I go to the quality that's here, you can add followers, people that follow this, or you can add a channel, which is a channel in the Discuss application, so they will receive a copy of everything that happens there. So it's very convenient. You can have a channel for the quality team, they listen to that, and then in real time they receive the things and they can reply directly. No need to switch from one application to the other. They'd get it all from this app and maybe on their mobile platform or something like that. So people work on the quality alerts, so it's useful to have some tags. And in this case, it's going to be security issue. I create a new tag, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in red. And it's root cause, it's part quality, like this. So we'll have a message for the production. So I just have to click here, and the manufacturing will receive a message the next time you will produce a product on the same work center. So you could say next time, take care of that because we notice it. You just click there, and you will get a warning on the tablets when you have a new production to do. Of course, you manage your collective preventative action and everything and launch the message. And yes, here it is. Of course, like usual, in Odoo, you have statistics on everything. So I can get statistics on your quality alerts, but I don't have a lot of data here, so because I only just did the one. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the statistics and how it works within another demo database real quick. Give me a second. So that is, as usual, the statistics in Odoo for those that do not know. I can view the pipeline, the sales pipeline. We can have statistics as a pivot table or as a graph view. Let's start with the graph view. So you can always filter on a few things, or you can say that you want to view the total revenue, for example. Then I can group by stage and then by country. But I'm going to go ahead and exclude France and Italy, for example. And you see it's super easy to just go ahead and switch and drill down Or if I want this as a chart like that, I can export it to Excel or filter if I only want the opportunities and not the leads. And of course, you have that on every document within Odoo. So you'll have that on the quality, and you'll have it on maintenance requests, the maintenance calendar, and everything. Or you could do it as a pivot table like here if you prefer. So let's say we group by closing date months like this, and in June, I want to drill down by expected closing week and then by city. And if I like this, I can export it to Excel just by clicking here, or I can save the chart so that my team can use it very easily. And if you install the dashboard application, you can build your own dashboard and put things together in a beautiful dashboard. Okay. So you have the quality team, and the quality team works on quality alerts. And let's say the problem is due to the supplier of this product. Let's see, if you recall, the product was the computer desk, and the quality team decided to launch a quality check. So let's say we usually have problems with this vendor, and it's time to check when we receive the products. It's time to do a few checks. So all they have to do is go there, and they can create a quality check. So in this case, I would like to run a quality check on this product called data card right here, this one. And here I'm going to go ahead and select the operation for receiving it right here. Then I'm going to want to go ahead and configure a control point. So I'm going to go to control points over here, and yeah, the control point is actually required first. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and test the bolts. And I can decide if I want to do the test when I receive, when I deliver, when I do the manufacturing, and I have this for every warehouse. So let's say when I receive in this warehouse, the quality team is this one, that's responsible. It's a test that this whole operation will perform periodically, like every certain number of days or weeks or months, or let's say randomly. And I want to test 20% of the reception I get from this vendor. Or let's make it all operations to make it simple. You can make it a very simple test, pass-fail, or I want to test that the bolts have 3 millimeters, for example. But they can range between 2 and 4. That's my tolerance. I'm going to make a note here. Please test the size of the, and then I'll just say XXX. And in this case, because the workers usually forget, I'm going to go ahead and put some bold text there and in italics. So you could create quality control points, and this quality control point will automatically flow into your different operations when you receive and when you manufacture and everything, or when they deliver how you want. So let's purchase something to, in this case, let's purchase some bolts. I don't know who the vendor is in this particular case, but let's see. We don't currently have a vendor. Okay, that's no problem. We can just go ahead and create a purchase order if we wanted to, or I'm going to go ahead and just directly log a reception because that's faster. So I go to inventory and I record a reception here. I'm going to select this vendor here, and I will receive this product, quantity of 2 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to click validate. And as you can see now, there's a new button that appeared here. I have to do a quality check. So the system automatically adapts. I cannot validate. It will tell me that I have to do the quality check. So let's do the quality check. And the system explains to me what I have to do, and I have to record the measurement. It's 4 millimeters. So that's good, it passed. But if I do 5, then it will say it fails. But I can click on pass if I want to force it. So let's say it's good. I'm just going to enter the number 3, and that's it. So you define your quality control, and the quality control automatically applies on the reception, the delivery, and the manufacturing orders automatically. And people get the message. So you don't have to explain it to them, hey, you have to test it because this vendor is always messing up with their product and so on. You don't have to do that. So you plan your manufacturing, you do the work orders, and then you have the tablets where you can record different operations. You record the quality alert. This quality alert is processed by the quality department that decided to do the check for the next time we receive some products. Okay, that's the overview so far. Okay, so they can do some root cause analysis with all the statistics I've shown you. And the good thing with that is that all the usual KPI are computed automatically. So if you're used to TPM, which is total productive maintenance, you have the OEE, which is a very important KPI, overall equipment efficiency, that most of the companies cannot compute. Frankly, it's too complex to compute for a lot of them. Because you have availability loss, which is depending on what you have, performance loss, does it produce lower than what we expected, quality loss because you have to reject some products or things like that. So it's very complex to compute. Here in Odoo, it's done automatically for you because everything is recorded at the tablet level. So if I go to the manufacturing dashboard, as you can see, for every work center, I have the OEE, which is updated automatically here. Sometimes it's in red. Like here, it's in red because it doesn't achieve the target. I have defined a target on this work center. I don't know how much. Let me check. There is a target of 90%. So I directly see that the overall equipment efficiency, the productivity of my team, is not good there. But here, 96 and 92, these are okay. Otherwise, they'd be red. So if you want to get more information, it's always the same. You drill down and you get statistics about the OEE. So material availability, I have problem for 120 hours. Oh, sorry, it's minutes, 60 minutes in this case. But full productive time is good, about 4320 right there. So you can group by user, let's see, and loss reason. Okay, I have only one user. Or by TPM big losses, so productive and availability. And you can drill down, drill up by period filters, everything you want. So it's the usual statistics of Odoo, or if you prefer it as a Gantt chart, or it as a list view with all the problems, and you have all the problems that are here, okay. That's for one specific work center, but you could also get it for the whole manufacturing. That's per work center. And I want only the productive time and the material availability problems. And I can view just the fully productive time and the material availability. Okay. So how does it work? Well, there are different things. We have quality loss, which comes from the scraps and the other things. Performance loss comes from the time you register on the work center. Availability loss could come from the blocking time when I clicked on block because the products are not there or because the machine is broken. So Odoo records everything and computes all the KPIs for you. And I'll go ahead and show you the other ones after. Okay. So maybe I should, at this point, show you one example on one operation. I have an operation right here, and I'm going to say that the expected duration is 1 minute right here. And I will go ahead and start working on it. As you can see, there's a timer that computes automatically. So when the worker is performing the operation, the system computes. Of course, the worker does not see that. It's because I'm in the manager interface. On the tablet, you don't see the details of the timing and everything. So from now on, it's registering fully productive time. And it's characterized that way because I'm doing it within that 1 minute expected duration. But after that 1 minute, it's going to start to record OEE, and it's going to say that it was slower than expected. So you have really the performance of everything, including your scrap, your maintenance requests, quality alert, your block because of the machine, and also the slowdown time because the worker is producing it slower than expected. So I still have to wait a few more seconds, or you could go to lunch and continue after. So these ones, the 50 seconds are fully productive time, but now if I wait a little bit more, you will see that it will be recorded as a loss. And also I have to do a quality check. You see this one is different. I have a quality check here. I'm going to say it passes and then record production. Now I have 160 seconds as fully productive time and 12 seconds as reduced speed that will appear negatively in my overall equipment efficiency KPI. So your OEE is computed automatically. You can get it by work center as here with some expectation, or you can get it consolidated for the whole company here. If you want to show it in a different way, then you can always play with that any way you want. Like so. Okay. I showed you how we produce. We have tablets, we manage the quality, and then let's say because of this problem, you want to change the bill of materials, and you want to use a different vendor because this vendor is not good enough. And so we change something. If you want to change something, you have to manage engineering change orders. So the way engineering change orders work is as usual. We do approvals by role or by some specific guidelines that you decide, such as some people are blocking, others we might just want them to be informed and then they can comment. You can customize your workflow and you can deploy very easily with versioning, trigger alerts, and so on. So now I'm going to go ahead and change my hat, and I'm going to go now into the PLM software. I have nothing in the notes, 0 engineering changes, or you can organize by a group of operations. Like new product introduction here or a small change. You can create another group with a small change if you have different teams for different things so that you can easily locate the work. So let's go with the new product introduction. I have a process that is defined here with new, in progress, validated, refused. You can, as usual, define your own process. Let's say I want a confirmation from supply chain because I want to confirm from my vendors. So I can create a new step and I move this new step here. Okay, so you can see as usual, very easy to configure your own flow, just like our CRM and project. And I will create an engineering change order. And I have to change the size of XXX. And it's, let's say I want to change the bill of material or routing or both. It's simple, and I will just select the bill of materials, the computer desk, and then specify the product, the bill of materials. I can put some notes in and save. And as usual, I can discuss with different people, and the whole communication, of course, is fully integrated. You can get email, you can reply by email. You don't need to connect to the system. You can access this on your mobile phone and everything, and then you can start to work on the engineering change order. Of course, you want to configure, you want to say, before pushing something in production, I want the validation of the supply chain. I want the validation of the manufacturing, engineering, and everything. For every step here in the process, you could configure, let's say, I'll need that and say, okay. Manufacturing engineering, which is the admin user, it's required to approve. Or approval is optional, but he could refuse, or he could just get informed so he can comment. Let's say this one is absolutely required to approve. And you configure your own process. So now I can go here, but I will not be able to go further because I need the approval of someone. Okay? Oh, and also I should mention, he received an email there. Just because I dragged and dropped there, the guy received an email. He can reply by email, check the change and everything. Usually what you do is you start a new revision. So it makes a copy of the BOM, which is here. So you have a new revision for your BOM, and you can work on this copy of the BOM. So go to the BOM. You can attach all the documents here. Like any PLM software, you attach all your documents. Go to my BOM here. So that's very easy, and you can change the BOM. Let's say I want to change this product right here by, I'm going to say little server, like this. And I will also change, I'm going to make it so that I need a different quantity. I'm going to say 5 table legs instead of 4. You can decide in which operation you consume it, like this. So you will do all the modifications you want on your BOM. Of course, it's still a copy of the bill of materials, so it's a revision that you did not deploy in production yet. And now, if I go to the BOM change, you have the difference of all the versions that appear here. So you can see here that I have removed the table head, and I put a table leg here, and I added a new product, which is a little server. Okay, so you have all the difference of your change so that when you will apply the bill of material, you will apply only the difference that you did on the main bill of material. So as you can see, I have to approve or reject because it has the manufacturing engineering approval requirement. So I will approve, and I can move forward on the different steps. Now I can move it and make it effective. When it's effective, I can apply all the change, and it will apply all the change to the manufacturing order. Okay? And it will replace the documents, replace the version, and everything. So all the things are fully integrated, and another feature that I could actually specify if I want to, since it's a new product introduction, I can actually specify the specific date where it's deployed, and I will put some tags. I'm going to say it was because of a security issue. I don't know. Security is red. You could create an alert. You just click here, and it creates an alert. Now, the worker, when he will receive a work order on this product, he will get an alert to tell him that something changed. So all the information flows very efficiently. You don't have to actually print things out and walk up to the worker and hand it to him and train him and everything. He will get an alert in his work order, and the old worksheet has just been replaced by the new one. So you can deploy very efficiently on your work changes. So you have approvals, you have communication. People can answer by emails, all the information flows. Then you push deploy that on the tablets, on the work center. We manage the version and apply the difference only that you changed and get informed as they need at every step of the workflow. Then you approve ECO, and then you manage the version. We've already seen that. I already showed you the quality where you can define control points, and then it manages communication. It sends alerts, and people have to measure during the process. You can also manage all of this with barcodes if you want. So when I register the quality, I did it manually with the mouse, but if you prefer, you can connect it to a barcode scanner for operations or for products and all serial numbers. Okay, so that's for the main flow, but then we'll manage maintenance, repairs, supply chain, communication tools, and sales and everything. So let's manage the maintenance on your machine. So I'm going to go switch to another application, which is the maintenance. And let's see. And of course, all those things are fully linked. So maintenance is right here. So we manage two types of things. You have the machine and the work center. A work center is a group where people produce using machines. So let's have a look at the machines. I have a few machines here. Some of them are in maintenance. I have maintenance requests attached, and you have different information here, like that's a model that already exists in Odoo. But now you've added a few things, like all your statistics are computed automatically. The mean time before failure, expected mean time before failure, estimated next failure. So it will compute for you when the machine will fail. Mean time to repair, preventative maintenance. I want preventative maintenance in this case every 90 days. This maintenance will take 2 hours, and my expected mean time before failure is 120 days. So register that, and the system will compute maintenance requests for you. So the whole maintenance calendar is pre-generated, and people will receive notifications depending on the configuration and the roles of everyone. You will have your maintenance calendar and new maintenance requests, which is computed automatically. I have nothing to do for this particular week, and I actually have nothing for the month, but you can imagine that you would have definitely some dates there. Or you can view it as Kanban as per usual in Odoo with the usual columns that you can, of course, edit. And I'm going to move this one, give this one some stars. You can discuss on the maintenance request. They say, okay, this, and then the information will flow to the one that made the request. So you don't have to worry about all of those things. We manage followers and groups of discussions automatically, as you've seen before. So we could say, okay, I want to be informed when the status changes for the repair on this machine. And then you'll receive an email automatically when we change the status of this request. So I've shown you that you get the statistics on the machines and tools, but you have the same things on the work centers. So you can get on the work centers all your KPI, efficiency factor, capacity, OEE target. So the list of equipment with the mean time before failure and mean time to repair and expected next failure. So you have the maintenance with the machines. The maintenance triggers preventative maintenance automatically for you. And the corrective maintenance are usually triggered automatically from the tablets on the work centers or from different people in the company. All right. You have your dashboard as usual and your reporting as usual. So that is right here in the maintenance. Let's see. And as usual, you have great reporting, dashboard, and everything. But of course, for reporting, I currently have too few data to have something really in-depth, but you start to understand. Okay. And we do reports on everything. As everything is recorded in the system and recording is super easy, you don't have to record anything. Just because the things are integrated, you have costing, traceability, time tracking, inventory forecast. That's all for the MRP. For quality, you have statistical process control, root cause analysis. For the maintenance, you have OEE, MTBF, mean time to repair. For the PLM, you have statistics on the ECO, version control, and everything. So let's go ahead and start with traceability. So for traceability, you have lots and serial numbers, or you can go directly from a manufacturing order, but then you don't have the exact lot. So let's choose one product, this one. You have upstream and downstream traceability. So I have a laptop, and this laptop has been manufactured with these two components. And you can trace those back to their vendors, of course, but these come from an inventory adjustment. And if you want more information, you can always click. Let's say I want more information. So I click and I go to the manufacturing order. Or I want to go, let's see, that's an upstream traceability. I want more information on this laptop charger, which is here, which is one of the components. So I can switch to the downstream traceability, and I will go the other way. I'm going to start from, let's see, I'm going to go up to the clients. I could have lots of different clients for this. And of course, once again, I don't have a lot of data here, but you can imagine it. You have print preview. You can zoom everywhere. So that's the traceability. and then a few miscellaneous improvements. Then we manage also material variants. So if you have sizes and colors, you can record metrics directly with sizes, colors of manufacturing and everything. Communication mechanisms, well, we already discussed that. For the supply chain, we improved with blanket orders, purchase agreements, and all those things. For inventory, you've already checked out the alerts and the quality tests. A lot of great companies are using Odoo in manufacturing, including Toyota. Toyota worked very closely with us to develop a lot of these improvements for the manufacturing platform, and that is, I don't think you can get a better reference for something like this. So if you want to use it, the estimated time arrival for this new upgrade is August for Odoo Online and October 2016 for the Enterprise Edition, which is hosted on-premise. And if you're using Odoo Online with us, we could actually add you as a beta tester for it if you want to join the beta test program. So just let us know and we'll give you the early access to it, and we could discuss together how we can beta test. That actually only applies to existing customers right now, though. Keep that in mind. So this concludes the presentation on the manufacturing updates. Please contact me with any questions directly, and we can get into further detail with it. Thank you very much.